This is the Troll Patrol, live with Justin Freakin.
Welcome to the Troll Patrol live. Sorry I'm late. I was just getting high and talking to the Twitch chat and we lost track of time. Sorry. We apologize. Twitch chat is peer pressure. Your fault. No, I'm not going to blame the chat. It was totally my fault. I did it. I should take full responsibility. They had nothing to do with it. Good evening. Welcome. It's a Thursday. I don't consider when I'm on Twitch just, smoking pot and talking. I like to interact with the chat. We'll watch TV shows because Twitch lets you, for those who are on YouTube or listening to the podcast, Twitch lets you do music. So I sit and listen to music and smoke pot and hang out with the people in chat. And it's just being in Twitch is like hanging out with, like you're friends with me and hanging out. RB, my friend, welcome in. An ugly stick. I didn't hit the Charlie Kirk, did I? I was totally getting baked. I was going to brag, this is the first time. This is not my preferred pot store. When I walk to the pot store, I go to a different store than when I have, somebody with a vehicle to take me. This is what I got there. I didn't even ask him what it was. It is a beautiful bud. And buddy, did it put a walloping on me. I had a bowl this morning. I smoked before I went to the pot store. This shit's good. I don't feel that they're giving me the top quality. They had some sour diesel concentrate. They had some purple I was looking at their menu of concentrates. I was like, they even had moon rocks. And I was like, should I get some moon rocks for my birthday? It was a gram for 20, or you could get 4 for 60. I was like, Oh, during the intro. Okay, fair enough, RB. I'm sorry. I wasn't thinking about I was trying to get everything ready because you got once again, Facebook's a bitch. Yes, socialist aunt. Perfect analogy. Going to the dispensary sober is like going to the grocery store hungry. Shouldn't do that. I've been saving up my points. They've got I don't know if I reset my drops. Okay, nothing flashed at us. Could have been a titty slap.
A titty slap! What the? Come on now.
My lord, I thought about it. I was like, that's basically buy 3, get 1 free. And I may have even, if I told them it was my birthday, they may have even knocked a little more off or something. But I've been saving up my points at the main store we go to because it's got a enter your phone number and rewards points kind of thing. And I should have 20% off. So if I got 20% off, I'm going to go buy an ounce from there. And that's like $40 off on an ounce. Because an ounce is $200. I'll get it for $160. Boom. Oh, the top-notch shit. I wonder, they only let you split it 2 ways when you get a half ounce. I wonder if they'll let me split it 4 ways if I get a whole ounce. Do you feel, and so that's the top shelf. You can get an ounce of I think they call it premium, and you can get an ounce of the premium for like $130. But then when I say that it's $200 for an ounce, like, you always have a deal. There is always a deal going on. So I'm going and hitting my 20% off, and they'll probably have something else. They might have 10% off going on with it. So I don't know how that stacks, you know, like in a video game. See, both of these are not outdoor weed. We're not talking about outdoor weed at all. Like, their premium is indoor fucking hydro kind of shit. Yeah, just 200 taxes included. And as I said, there's always a deal. They've always got 10% off. They got already blah, blah, blah. Made you use at least half your points. Well, see, Curious or not, I've had that debate. Every time she goes, she gets the free, because it's like every time you get a free pre-roll. And, well, we are not in the climate that you can grow. I mean, you can grow outdoors, but you've got a window. And thanks to climate change, that window has changed drastically. That's what, like, Curious or not, we're going by somebody, they were tilling their side yard. And I'm like, it's really late to be tilling your side yard. And she's like, it's still supposed to freeze, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, really? That makes sense then. Because it's goddamn, it's May. It's almost June. I mean, we used to get the last frost like the end of March, maybe the first week of April. And then the planting was on, and you could grow all kinds of shit. Thank you, climate change. I mean, I guess you can grow it further into the fall. What do I know? I probably need a meme, don't I? I'm really slacking. Once again, it's my birthday on Tuesday, so basically it's my birthday now. I bought my birthday present for myself yesterday or day before yesterday. I'm having the dinner and dessert and everything on Saturday. We'll do on Tuesday, we'll get on Twitch. Sorry, YouTube people, just Twitch lets you do cool things like watch TV shows. We'll watch Justin's favorite TV shows. It'll be a mix of like Seinfeld, Trailer Park Boys, Curb Your Enthusiasm, Sunny in Philadelphia, South Park, Simpsons, Bob's Burgers, shit like that. That's like my favorite. Rick and Morty. Early stuff. Early Rick and Morty. I was curious, her had never seen Rick and Morty. I showed her like the first couple of seasons, or I showed her like the first half of the first season. And then she asked me about Pickle Rick, because like she likes pickles. So a lot of pickles involved in her life. So like I had to show her the Pickle Rick episode. And there's a big jump. Yes, but it was the one, it was the one where he blew up the planet. That really tickled her. Yo, what I'm spacing on what the fucking rest of the episode is. Pirates of the Pancreas. But seriously, the show goes way downhill. Cobweb covered skeleton gripping Senate desk, expected to seek 15th term. I think the Pickle Rick episode's where it jumps the shark. I am confident that that is where the show like loses its magic. And it's not just like, you know, all the fandom, because, you know, good on creators for, well, I mean, I guess Justin Roland's a creep, but good on Dan Harmon, who might also be a creep, but an apologetic creep. There's a lot there. Like, once again, you got to separate the art from the artists, but also things don't happen in a vacuum. Shows exist in the context that they're consumed in. Casey, good evening. Welcome in, my friend. I'm also belching up tacos. Fulfill all your wishes with my taco flavored kisses. I'm sorry, I'm slacking. Let's get some news going on in here. I warn you, it's pretty shitty tonight. Yeah, my boy posted about making his kid mow the lawn. He's like, how good it is to have a kid to mow the lawn for you. And I was like, that sounds like slavery with extra steps. Got a real pop out of him. Oh my God. That joke was so up. I'm sorry. We're going to Washington, D.C. court documents give us the latest update on the suspect in this shooting at Jewish embassy.
The Jewish community is in mourning and on edge after a deadly shooting outside the Capitol Jewish Museum in downtown D.C.
Anti-Semitism will not be tolerated, especially in the nation's capital.
Don't you feel better that we got Janine Pirro on the case?
It's a hate crime and a crime of terrorism.
2 Israeli embassy staff members, Yaron Lushinsky and...
But you're gonna hate me. She can be my GOP mommy. She sobered up for the job.
Crime of terrorism.
2 Israeli embassy staff members, Yaron Lushinsky and Sarah Lynn Milgram, were killed, and we've learned the 2 were soon to be engaged. Yaron had plans to propose next week. That shooting happened last night around 9:30. The suspect is identified as 31-year-old Elias Rodriguez. He's from Chicago. Witnesses say they heard him chant "Free, Free Palestine" before he was arrested. He is now facing a number of federal charges, including murder of foreign officials, and he could face the death penalty. We thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Leslie Foster. This evening, we've got special live team coverage. We'll break down what we know about the suspect's past, where the investigation stands, and how the Jewish community is standing together tonight. Let's begin with our Rafael Sanchez Cruz. Rafa, we know you just learned about the new details that this alleged gunman is facing, the charges he's facing.
Yeah, that's right, Leslie. Interim U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia, Janine Pirro, said the death penalty is not off the table in this case, although it's early in the investigation. She believes that Elias Rodriguez of Chicago could be facing additional charges. Now, this is officially being investigated as a possible hate crime, an act of terrorism. Rodriguez is now facing 2 first-degree murder counts and other charges, including murder of foreign officials. In just the last hour, we learned that Rodriguez arrived in the district on Tuesday, May 20th. According to the FBI, he was in D.C. for a work-related conference, but it's still unclear what that job is. Court documents say Rodriguez flew to D.C. with the gun checked into his bag. That gun was purchased back in 2020. And
America, baby.
That was used, according to investigators, last night.
Wait, aren't guns illegal in D.C.?
Capitol Jewish Museum, striking and killing the Israeli diplomats, Yaron Lashinsky and his girlfriend, Sarah Milgram.
So did he get it through security?
A ticket to the event being held at the museum 3 hours prior to its start. Now,
Flash, clear this up. The way the reporter said it would sound like he checked it and that they knew that he had the gun. Or did he smuggle a gun onto the plane? The way the reporter reported it, it sounded like he checked the gun and he was a legal gun owner.
When Rodriguez was taken into custody, he allegedly told officers that he, quote, did it, and then added, quote, I did it for Palestine, I did it for Gaza, I am unarmed, end quote. DC officials are condemning yesterday's shooting, emphasizing that anti-Semitism will not be tolerated in the nation's capital.
A young couple at the beginning of their life's journey, about to be engaged in another country, had their bodies removed in the cold of the night in a foreign city in a body bag. We are not going to tolerate that anymore. And I am not unaware, based upon my own background, of the repercussions of this kind of case. This is the kind of case that picks at old sores and old scars, because these kinds of cases remind us of what has happened in the past that we can never and must never forget.
Right now, the FBI says they are trying to contact anyone who knew Rodriguez. That includes family, friends, and colleagues. They're also trying to get their hands on his electronic devices. And right now, the FBI also acknowledged some writings that were found online. They're trying to determine if he is the author of those writings. They did not go into detail about what those say. Now, as for DC police, they're going to up the security at religious centers, churches, and schools. But the FBI and DC police are asking also the help from the community. They want anyone who may have encountered Rodriguez between May 20th through the 22nd before the shooting to give them a call. That means if you had any encounter, if you saw him in any location, they say tonight that they have a pretty good idea where he was staying. But as you know, Leslie, they're trying to piece together this puzzle as they move forward with the investigation and potentially find other charges.
Flash? BBW Bill? I am not familiar. I am familiar with the term BBW. Now, I am familiar with the term BBW. But I don't think in the context that you were using it, that it means what I think it means.
Charges against him as he again faces a potential death penalty or life in prison.
Buffalo Bill?
Rafael Sanchez Cruz, back to you.
Yeah, so much to put together here, Rafa, especially as we're all grappling with how to prevent this kind of violence. Rafa, thank you. Tonight, we're also learning some new details about the alleged gunman, including what happened in those moments after the shooting. Our
Looks like a nice guy.
Live outside the federal courthouse downtown. Matthew, we know you just got your hands on the court documents in this case, and the suspect here is facing some significant federal charges.
Yes,
I don't agree with the target.
In the courtroom for his first
I'm with, like, if you're going to take action, if you're compelled to take action,
Elias Rodriguez showed up in court today.
Don't take out some
jumpsuit. He remained largely
young,
quiet,
like fucking
answers, and at one point even scanned the courtroom, seeing who was there. It was filled with members of the press,
nameless bureaucrats.
The office says this is a case that will require more work and time, calling the crime scene complicated. New court documents we have obtained right after the hearing revealed disturbing details. The document says that Rodriguez could be seen on camera getting closer to the couple shot as they got on the ground, leaning over them with his arm extended, firing his gun several times as one of them tried to crawl away. The woman,
this guy volunteered for the IDF,
behind her and fired again. The filings go on to say he reloaded his gun and fired it at that same woman who managed to sit up. Authorities said that during an interview with detectives, Rodriguez admitted to admiring the man who set himself on fire outside the Israeli embassy in D.C. last year to draw attention to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. You may remember the scene. This was also video from that man's vigil. Rodriguez calling that man a murderer. And today in court, he agreed to remain detained without a hearing for now. He was also appointed an attorney, knowing that his chances of a death penalty for these federal charges are pretty significant, knowing that here in D.C., the murder statute has a maximum sentence of life in prison. Leslie.
As he looked around that courtroom, you have to wonder if he understood the gravity of his alleged actions. Matthew, thank you. Tonight, friends and colleagues are remembering the two staffers who were killed, Yaron Lashinsky and Sarah Lynn Milgram. As we mentioned, the couple plan to get engaged next week. Those who knew them say they had so much left to
Wait. What? How do you plan to get engaged next week? If you're saying you're engaged, like, aren't you already engaged? I'm engaged starting next week. You can fuck whoever you want before. What does that mean?
Sarah was a beautiful soul that was taken away from us brutally this morning. She had a great future, an amazing future ahead of her.
Yaron was a good friend. He was part of community. He was a good person. He was kind of, we always say that God always takes the good ones, and he was one of the best ones.
Tonight, a memorial is growing in their honor outside the Capitol.
Well, that makes me have a lot less sympathy for him, but I still don't think he was the correct target.
People have been coming all day long to pay their respects.
Yeah, today, just in a kind of a set of bushes outside of the museum behind me, people have been coming by, dropping pieces of paper in those bushes with handwritten notes honoring the victims, some also leaving flowers, some lighting candles. This community outraged over this senseless killing, but will attempt to press on in their honor.
Dude kind of looks like Charlie Kirk.
Where the unimaginable happened less than a day ago is now a place for remembrance. Song and prayer help bring broken hearts and angry voices
Warlord.
together.
And if you're not enraged, you should be. And if you're not brokenhearted, you ought to be.
Sarah Milgram and Yaron Lashinsky were shot and killed outside the Capitol Jewish Museum where they were attending an event. According to the American Jewish Committee, Milgram was from Overland Park, Kansas, and received a master's degree from American University in 2023. Lashinsky was born in Germany but moved to Israel at a young age, both working for the Israeli embassy and both ready to begin a life together.
These were two young, beautiful people, Yaron and Sarah, planned to be engaged next week in Jerusalem. Yaron bought a engagement ring this week. He was taking his soon-to-be bride to meet his parents, who live just outside of Jerusalem. Their murder will not be in vain.
And their memory will not be forgotten.
What the hell are you gonna do?
May we find each other in peace.
Jenna Hopp
Stop the genocide, maybe?
Who felt compelled to be here.
If the shooter understood they were here for peace, would he have still shown up? Guns are so silencing, and violence, it doesn't solve anything.
And I saw so many people just like Jenna Hopp stopping by to pay their respects.
Warlord says genocide plus.
Flowers, a candle.
That is, I mean, fair enough.
Third and F Northwest has been so busy all day with members of the media, but also you heard from the U.S. ambassador to Israel. We also saw Maryland Congressman Jamie Raskin and D.C. Council member Brooke.
That's the last person I want to hear from right now.
Here as well, Leslie.
And making sure to honor their memory, even in the midst of how awful their lives were taken. John, thank you. Law enforcement agencies across the region have ramped up their security at Jewish facilities in our area, but Jewish Community Relations Council of Greater Washington CEO Ronald Halber says there's still more that needs to be done.
We appreciate it. We appreciate what Chief Yamada is doing. We appreciate what the chief in D.C. is doing, the chief in Fairfax, Prince George's County. They're all increasing patrols. It's great. We applaud them. We love them for it. But it's a temporary measure.
Politically.
For Congress to put more funding into the nonprofit security grant program.
Israel doing what it's doing is making Jewish people all over the world less safe.
Of terrorist or extremist attacks. We'll have much more on this story coming up on the news at 6:30, including a closer look at the impact of this shooting on our local Jewish community. That will be streaming live only on WUSA 9+, and you can download it on your TV and watch it for free anytime.
Because they have so directly tied the cause of Israel to Jewish people and the charge of anti-Semitism, it makes the Jewish population, the Jewish diaspora across the world less safe. Because Israel keeps doing shit like firing on diplomats visiting in the West Bank. These were Irish diplomats.
جيش الاحتلال يطلق النار على الوفد خلال تواجدنا، يطلق النار بشكل مباشر هي جيش الاحتلال.
The West Bank.
جيش الاحتلال لا زال يطلق النار باتجاه الوفد الدبلوماسي من القناصل والسفراء بين الدول.
A delegation of counselors and state ambassadors. The IDF fired on white people. So maybe something is going to happen.
هون آمن دير بالك السيارة ما تخليه في الوجه.
I don't know who all was president, but I know that there was an Irish delegation, an Irish diplomat.
ارجع شباب.
That was just the raw footage. I was actually expecting some reporting in that. But that's what makes, people want to take their frustrations out on those that would be it was a Jewish museum. I keep getting it fucked up. Or was it the Jewish embassy? It was near the Jewish embassy. That's not the only thing that happened in D.C. today. Near the CIA headquarters, or this is in Langley, not exactly D.C. The CIA headquarters, a woman was shot.
Is outside the CIA headquarters and joins us with what we know thus far. Juliana?
Hi there, Erica. So this happened about 4 a.m. this morning, and you can see behind me the main gates to Langley CIA headquarters blocked off with police tape. Now, Fairfax County Police can only confirm that a person was shot on CIA property. Now, this is what you could hear on local police scanner radio before Fairfax County Police responded.
341 Alpha, looks like someone tried to ram the gate. Suspect was shot.
Subject was shot by CIA.
Now, according to a federal law enforcement source, the suspect involved in this incident is a woman. Fairfax County Police Department officers were on scene.
Oh my God, it's a woman.
Traffic control after the shooting. 123, it was backed up in both directions during the morning rush hours. A CIA spokesperson confirmed there was a security incident that law enforcement responded to outside CIA headquarters, but did not provide additional details. Back out here live, you can see more police vehicles. There's some.
To be fair, I really expect to one day be doing a story like this.
The CIA and the FBI are.
And Sparkles be the suspect.
But again, at this point, we know only that someone was shot around 4 this morning, and that according to a federal law enforcement official, that person involved in the incident is a woman. Erica?
Juliana Valencia live for us this morning. Juliana, thank you.
Tonight we had the hatchet lady. That totally could have been Sparkles. I don't know that she did any shooting. She was the one shot. She crashed into the gate at Langley. She was shot after she crashed into the gate. The shooting non-fatal. Investigation is underway by the CIA and the FBI. Fairfax County officers responded to the 900 block of Dolly Madison Boulevard to help CIA police with traffic control. The woman who crashed into the gate was preliminarily identified as 27-year-old Monica Spadaro. Two senior law enforcement officials briefed on the incident told NBC News Spadaro was treated for gunshot wounds. No information on her condition was immediately released. Law enforcement agencies were investigating whether she may have been intoxicated at the time. Oh, God. Can you imagine just being out partying, being drunk and driving home, and crashing into the gate at Langley and getting shot? How fucking embarrassing would that be? Anonymously, I don't think you know Sparkles very well. Not saying that she wouldn't think he was in self-defense. I am wholeheartedly against drinking and driving. But wow.
We begin with News 4's Mark Seagraves. He joins us.
Now, we already began with that story. The other big story tonight is, whoa. Apparently this is a pretty devastating crash happening in San Diego. At least 2 people dead. If this story does not identify the victims, I have a story that does.
This is Eyewitness News with live breaking news.
I'm Philip Palmer, and we are breaking into streaming coverage right now because we want to bring you live images of the deadly plane crash that is in San Diego. This is Air 7. We're getting our first live look from the air after the plane plowed into a San Diego neighborhood.
I feel like this is about 3 or 4 East Coast time.
Earlier this morning on our streaming broadcast at 8 a.m., but you can see the destruction here. This is our camera. You can see some of the images here. Officials do say a number of people have died. The fatalities are believed to all be on board the plane. As of right now, it does not appear anyone
That's amazing.
was killed in this plane crash. But again, we have a little bit more information as to what happened.
Yeah, I'm assuming this is a small plane.
The jet is commonly used for business travel. It can carry up to 8 to 10 people on board. We do know that the NTSB, the FAA are on scene investigating the crash.
But was it like a little Cessna or something?
Complex.
Like a luxury.
We're told, but the Associated Press was told that it was foggy at the time that this jet crashed. You could barely see in front of you. We're not saying that is the cause of this crash. It is very near the airport, but visibility had gotten down to about a half a mile. Low clouds, according to weather data. There was a news conference earlier. They did say that more than one fatality was on that plane. But again, we do not know how many people were on that plane.
San Diego is absolutely gorgeous.
Information that we're getting from FlightAware was that the plane originated on the East Coast.
Is this some sort of apartment complex or condo complex?
And had been in Wichita for about an hour and then took off. Now, at some point, it crashed and hit up to about 10 homes that were affected. The amazing part of this, that is one of the homes that was deeply affected by this.
It's like a little townhouse or some shit, isn't it?
Come from the plane as it crashed and just set the street on fire. A lot of the cars were on fire, we're told from witnesses. So the cars were primarily on fire. Amazingly, it appears as if everyone that was on the ground, this is 3:45 this morning, it appears as if everyone on the ground was able to safely evacuate. A lot of people that lived in this neighborhood.
Jet fuel can't melt steel cars.
People to get out of there. We've seen video captured by neighborhood residents who saw flames and they counted
holy shit.
cars on fire. That person had told of a boom that woke people up, and he was knocking on doors and getting people out.
Boom, shalak lock, boom.
Quoted, there was a commanding officer of the naval base in San Diego said that the neighborhood is one of the largest military housing units in the world. So a lot of military families will be impacted by this.
Oh,
that is the area that you're seeing there. So this is a military community that are going to be deeply affected by this. Again, the most recent information that we're getting that is new as of this update is that according to FlightAware, this citation took off from Teterboro Airport just outside of New York City, stopped in Wichita, Kansas for about an hour to fuel up, then took off. The pilot announced on the radio that the plane was about 3 miles from a planned landing at Montgomery Gibbs Executive Airport, but there was no sign of any problem. No emergency was declared. The airport does have a control tower. It was not staffed in the overnight hours, so the pilots basically announced their intentions to other pilots listening on what's called common traffic advisory frequency. So no planned emergency, but again, we're under the impression that visibility was low at this point. So that is going to be something that's investigated. But you're seeing from these live images the devastation in this neighborhood. It is quite
like the pilot just thought that was the runway.
More damage to homes. Some homes.
Holy shit! We
are under the impression that as it landed, we're witnesses talk about the jet fuel from the Cessna just was on fire through that neighborhood, and I've not seen from our camera wreckage of the plane at this point. I've been reading some of our notes here.
Seriously,
the plane likely went into that house there, so it does look as if.
That could be a wing.
Mostly is in that house.
On that
but there
porch.
FAA, NTSB that are going to be investigating this. It will develop throughout the story, but if you...
What's that car all the way down the road?
People, they're not gathered about looking around because most of them evacuated. Early hours, 3:45 this morning, they evacuated. We're going to try...
Don Carlos, welcome in.
With our crew that is in the helicopter. We do have Marcel Melanson there, so we're going to try to talk to him later on this morning. Eyewitness News at 11 a.m. We'll continue to keep following this. We'll continue to see what we can find out. We refueled down there about 3 minutes away from this, so there is an airport for us very near there. So we're just now getting above this scene. We wanted to break into our stream to try to get you these images as quickly as we can. And as we're looking, you can see that
insanity
cars that would have been parked in the street have been knocked about. And so I do believe we have Marcel now.
There's a fucking like SUV at the end of the road. I want to know what that story is.
Fire. So he's going to know a little bit about how the response would have been from a firefighting perspective.
This
first responder
aftermath doesn't make sense to me.
What they're going to be doing in these hours after something like this happened. And Marcel,
under what tree? This tree? That's. Do you think that's the plane right there? It looks like that could be a wing. It's under this tree. Or that. Do you think that is... Okay, I see what you're saying. Okay. I totally see it now. There it is. You sneaky little plane. Good eye clinically.
With LA County Fire, so he's going to know a little bit about how the response would have been from a firefighting perspective.
So what caused this damage? That does look to be the wing in that area right there.
From a first responder perspective and what they're going to be doing in these hours after something like this happened. And
how did that vehicle get there? That's a truck?
The airport is... I mean,
it's had to have gotten hit
over this scene and see this from a first responder's perspective.
Philip, first thing I could say is just devastating, right? At 3 a.m., a plane comes into a number of houses. I'm going to tilt up a bit, you can see here's the airfield. So it was on the approach path to this airfield, and just short of the airfield,
wow,
accident occurred. And San Diego Fire, first units responded and got.
Did he think this was the
They
runway?
were dealt with a number of problems that they were, you know.
Oh, you're exactly, especially in a military complex like this.
You also have the rescue.
There's totally ring
people
cameras.
in these houses, because at that time of morning you would figure people would be home asleep. So
Every motherfucker I've known who's in the military is paranoid as shit.
to do rescues that are needed, and as well as the devastation, the way it looks like it's spread down the street here, it looks like the fuel was
We should have multiple angles on this by tomorrow.
these cars on fire as it came into contact with it. So it's a complete city block where you have strewn across this whole area. And their initial response was about 130 firefighters, a third alarm from San Diego Fire and Rescue. So they had
Well, also, the military kind of makes you that way.
for an aircraft approach, or
You need to always be alert for enemies and shit like that.
force, and as well as paramedics and things.
Be assessing threats.
So we're going to have to break away because we do have
And someone's fucking their
couple of things
wives.
for ABC7. I did notice at the end of the street, it looked like they had a barrier across the street almost to stop fuel from advancing along. That would be a hazmat spill. That right there, it looks like, you mentioned fuel going all the way.
We might have a good 3 or 4 different views of it, Holiday.
Situation as well. So we're going to break away from.
Like, I'm not saying that to be. I mean, I'm saying it to be funny. But there's bound to be ring cameras of it. And like the way I know military people, they probably all got 3 or 4 cameras each on the outside of their houses at least. Just saying. And it's the military teaches you that. You need to be alert for threats, of course. The victims of the crash have now been identified. I'm going to take you to a later news report.
We begin right now with that deadly plane crash in San Diego. Police saying at least 2 people were killed and 8 others injured on the ground. The FAA now confirming 6 people were on board that plane just within the last hour.
Okay, once again, ring camera is in. That is colloquial for some outdoor camera that you maybe purchased off of the black market or something. Just a camera that is outside a home camera is what we're talking about.
Deadly plane crash in San Diego.
Personal surveillance.
2 people were killed and 8 others injured on the ground. The FAA now confirming 6 people were on board that plane just within the last hour. A music talent agency confirmed 3 of its employees died in the crash.
Also, to be fair, I know some ex-military people who are really stupid, who would be paranoid and stupid and would get the ring camera and not know that. To be fair,
A music talent agency confirmed 3 of its employees died in the crash, including the group's co-founder.
Sound Talent Group says co-founder Dave Shapiro was killed when the private plane went down early this morning. He is listed as the owner of the plane and does have a pilot license. The group did not identify the other 2.
did you guys know that I have my pilot's license? Got a license to pilot in that ass. Ah ha ha! But only if you wash it.
Life is too short to walk this earth for a crusty asshole. Wash your ass.
I should make Smokey dance for tips. I'm missing out. He was tired of that shit. Unamused with my bullshit indeed, but he'll be back. He's still standing here. He's wagging his tail. His butt's right here. I got it. Oh, see, I knew you'd be back. I knew you'd be back. Who you gonna run to, huh? Who's gonna love you like I do? He fucking ran somewhere. Damn that cat. I want to say he's stupid, but then he does shit like that. I say, who you gonna run to? And he gets down, runs away. Dave Shapiro.
Talent agency confirmed 3 of its
not Ben Shapiro
crash, including the group's co-founder.
Sound Talent Group says co-founder Dave Shapiro was killed when the private plane went down early this morning. He is listed as the owner of the plane and does have a pilot license. The group did not identify the other 2 employees killed. Now, the crash happened in San Diego's Tierra Santa neighborhood.
I got a pilot's license.
I
can't do it again.
Where that plane was due to land. Over 100 people have now been displaced because of the crash.
Eyewitness News reporter Jessica DeNova is in the neighborhood getting a close look at all the damage. Jessica, what can you tell us right now?
This was an absolute nightmare for people in this community to wake up to. You can see there's now a barricade up here behind me blocking Sample Street where this plane crashed early this morning. The NTSB confirming only 1 home was hit here on the corner, but it ignited. That crash ignited several vehicles and at least that 1 home in flames. And now they're describing this plane as a 1985 Cessna 550 Citation flying in from the Midwest, scheduled to land at the Montgomery Gibbs Executive Airport just before 4 this morning, instead hitting a power line, 1 home, and multiple vehicles, according to NTSB investigators. We spoke with neighbors who stepped in to help each other escape as this nightmare unfolded in the San Diego community known as Murphy Canyon. People living on Sample Street waking up to...
Ooh, we should totally take private planes away from millionaires.
Flames just before 4.
It would improve.
Parents desperately rushing to save their children.
It's the same concept as, like the countries that ban private schools. So, the rich people make sure the schools are well taken care of and everybody benefits. If the rich people had to fly on commercial airlines like the rest of us, I would like to see us go back to some... You could go look up videos about how much better flying used to be when it was like a quasi public-private partnership. You got like the royal treatment. Like they took care of you on these in these big ass seats. But when it became completely privatized, during the 70s, you could smoke on a plane, but that's just a different time. That's just a different time. But the service was way better. And when they privatized it, it became less about safety, became less about the customer experience, and more about how can we maximize profit. Capitalism ruins everything.
I'm trying to figure out how to escape with my kids, and I'm just like, let's go, and I'm calling the police, and I'm just gathering everyone up, but we couldn't get out because the gate goes right into the front yard. There was a dead pilot in my front yard.
There was a dead pilot in my front yard.
Initial power lines, and then we do have a wing on the road just on the other side here, and the remainder of the wreckage appears to be on the street just behind you.
The San Diego Police Department confirming at least 2 fatalities of people on board the plane, several minor injuries of residents on the ground. First responders credit the quick action of people living in this military housing community for the lives saved after at least 1 home and multiple cars ignited. And back out here live, the NTSB saying it's
It'd be a hell of a thing to wake up to.
How many people were on board the plane? We may have heard, not yet confirmed, that maybe half a dozen were more on board this plane. This plane can hold at least 10 people, but investigators expect to be out here looking into this through tomorrow, and they expect to relocate this plane and what's left of it on Saturday. Reporting live in San Diego, Jessica De Nova, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Why does it take till Saturday? I think we've just only identified. I think like we're gonna get 12 fatalities, right? They just haven't confirmed the fatalities yet. 'Cause I don't think anybody survived that. Bonder Monkey. Oh, you dig the shirt? And ironically, I watched a YouTube video today about the Bill Murray Harold Ramis feud. So Ghostbusters was integral to that. Waking up to a dead pilot in your yard really sucks. That was one of the best sound bites. There was a dead pilot in my yard. I like the fact that she could identify that he was the pilot and just not another passenger. Did he have a little captain's hat on that was still intact after the crash? I like where Flash goes with this. It could have been more than 12 people if some of the sex workers on board were little people. You can fit if you've got 4 little people, they count for 2 full people, right? I'm totally not afraid of ghosts. I'm more afraid of P. Diddy. I feel like that's way scarier to me. P. Diddy. Way scarier.
Another star witness taking the stand in the Sean Diddy Combs sex trafficking and racketeering trial. Scott Biscotti, also known as rapper Kid Cudi, just finished testifying about what he says happened with Combs in 2011 and 2012. Biscotti had a brief relationship with Cassie Ventura during this time, and Combs allegedly made threats against him because of it. Biscotti testifying that he believes Combs actually broke into his house and testified that a few months later, a Molotov cocktail was placed on his Porsche, damaging his car. He told the jury he reached out to Combs after his car caught fire and described him with his hands behind his back like a Marvel supervillain. Combs has pleaded not guilty to all charges, and his defense team says any sexual encounters were all consensual. Legal contributor Eric Faddis joins me now for more. So, Eric, what do you think? How does Biscotti's
This wasn't a sexual encounter. This was a Molotov cocktail.
Conspiracy counts that he faces.
This is terrorism.
Yeah, Kira, I think we're firmly moving into RICO territory here. We're getting past some of the sex trafficking allegations, talking about a criminal enterprise.
Is this a little person? This is a little person, isn't it? Can anybody tell? Is he sitting down? He's standing up?
That was allegedly engaged in.
Is that little personism of me?
Goes to trying to prove some of those predicate offenses. He says that Diddy and his team burglarized his home.
There's Cudi.
After Diddy found out that he was dating.
Smoking a cigarette before he goes in to testify.
Blew up his vehicle, which goes to arson. And so that was really the thrust of the testimony. That was the prosecution's purpose for putting him on. There were some.
I like Cudi.
Scored by defense as well. It was some colorful testimony.
So there was also.
I'm totally into little people.
The defense team was worried about Biscotti talking about, was it trauma to his dog? What his dog faced when he believed Combs broke into his house, because there may be dog lovers on the jury.
Did he fucked with his dog?
How they feel about their decision? What do you make of that?
Yeah, Kier, what they were talking about is a rule under the law that prevents any side from kind of inflaming the passions of the jury, from unduly prejudicing in an unfair way the defendant, but by bringing out testimony that isn't necessarily central to any of the charges, but could really, make somebody cringe and say, "Oh my God, that's terrible." And that's why defense wanted to keep out that information about the dog, because it's not really central to any of the charges or anything, and it really has the possibility of rubbing this jury the wrong way and causing them to kind of hate Diddy and possibly using that as a possible.
Oh, we already hate Diddy. Don't worry.
One more question, Eric. George Kaplan, the first person granted
I'm not on the jury, but everybody hate Diddy.
His testimony about working for Combs. What stood out to you from that testimony?
Now the curiouser's here. Light one up, tip one back.
Not overly compelling for one side or the other, and that's been a bit of a trend, I think. In my appraisal, some of the prosecution's case has been rather underwhelming. Looked really good on paper, and they talked a big game, but having him come in there, he talked about being involved in setting.
Yeah, Holiday, I think you might be tripping some people out with the shout outs.
Favors and what have you. None of that really qualifies as a predicate offense.
I appreciate you being friendly, though.
And I imagine the jury was not overly moved one way or the other.
All right, Eric Fanis, appreciate your time, Eric, and also watching the trial along with us. You can catch our daily show, too, called Burden of Proof, the case against Diddy, airing nightly at 5:30 Eastern right here on ABC News Live. Also, be sure to check out our podcast, Bad Rap, the case against Diddy. We've got daily updates there as well.
You can put DJ Dub in the chat. We can have a column, shout out, no shout out. Do you want a talk or no talk? That's an episode of Seinfeld. That's when they go to L.A. to find... George Wendt was on that episode. He died. He died Tuesday? What am I looking for? God damn it. Oh, yeah, weed. Don't go. Nobody needs to go anywhere because I got a case. They call it the Delco pooper. They were apparently pooping on people's porches. I don't know if it's porches or not. It could have been in people's soup. For all I know, I haven't seen the story yet. I just know somebody been pooping somewhere, and they're in court for it. They're the Delco pooper. This is apparently outside of Philadelphia. I'm not high enough for this shit. I hope they were lighting it on fire too. Those are the best pranks. Let's go to Indiana, where I don't know what you guys. This is gonna make you sad, I guess. We're not executing an innocent man, but when you hear what he did, because you're my chat, you're gonna be on his side. So I don't.
CBS 4 News at 11 with breaking news now. The Supreme Court has just denied the 11th hour attempt by an Indiana man on death row. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I'm Bob Donaldson.
And I'm Chelsea Helms. Benjamin Ritchie will be put to death at 1 a.m. That is for the September 2000 murder of Beech Grove police officer William Toney. Tonight, the Supreme Court ruled that his execution can move forward.
Execution.
Sonia Sotomayor and Ketanji Brown Jackson both disagreed and did want to review Ritchie's case, though Governor Mike Braun has refused to stop the execution.
CBS 4's Russ McQuaid was on the scene that night Officer Toney was killed almost 25 years ago. He joins us tonight from outside the prison where Ritchie awaits the fulfillment of his sentence. Russ?
And good evening, Bob. With the media excluded from witnessing Ritchie's execution, the Indiana State Prison here in Michigan City is on an even tighter than usual lockdown.
He produced another good cop.
The hour when the judge's order will be carried out. If the Indiana Department of Correction is following its past procedure, it's believed that Officer Toney's family and their supporters would have been inside a conference room inside the prison for at least an hour now, waiting to be escorted to the building that houses Indiana's death chamber. Richie's attorneys and spiritual advisor also are likely on the scene. While I can't tell you exactly what is going on inside tonight due to an information blackout by IDOC, I can tell you from covering other executions what the routine...
He did, by the way. This already happened.
Chances are Richie was escorted from his cell on death row before noon and taken to the death house, where he was placed in a small cell next to the execution chamber. He would have been fed his final meal during the afternoon. While in the cell, he would constantly be in the presence of a corrections officer while accepting visitation from a clergy member or spiritual advisor and his attorneys. A phone would be made available should he decide to make any calls. There's also a hotline open and tested for the warden and other prison authorities to remain in constant contact with the governor's office and the Indiana Attorney General's office should there be any last-minute developments. As the clock clicks closer to midnight Central Daylight Time, Richie will say his goodbyes and be left to await an escort to the death chamber, where he will be secured to a table, an IV inserted into an artery, followed by the introduction of the lethal dose of pentobarbital by a paramedic. There are two physicians in the room, one an Indiana Department of Correction physician, another an independent doctor, ready to stand by and pronounce the time of death. Richie has been granted...
Pretty young, I think, Flash.
...to his execution. The Toney family has a maximum...
He's young in the video we're seeing.
When it is...
That was like 20 years ago.
IDOC employee will deliver us a written statement that will also be posted on the department website, but won't take any questions. The IDOC execution team is made up of volunteers. They come from facilities all around the state of Indiana. Their identities perhaps not even known to other staff members. Leading up to this, they were practicing about once a month, and then in the last month, once a week, to make sure that this execution comes off as clinically clean as possible. We should know by about 2:30 in the morning.
That is wild language.
About the final word on the execution of Benjamin Ritchie. Bob and Chelsea?
Well, Russ, as we mentioned, you covered this story when it happened almost 25 years ago. Yeah. Even if an execution does happen tonight, it does not really bring closure to the Toney family, does it?
No, it really doesn't. And I can tell you from being out there that night, it was chaotic, there was panic, there was anxiety because an officer had fallen and his killer was still on the run through those neighborhoods. And
he was 20 when it happened.
As the hunt was on, nobody could find him. They didn't know if he was holed up with a friend. They didn't know if he was holding somebody else hostage. They didn't know if he was going to leap out from behind another building and ambush some of those officers and state troopers who responded to that neighborhood. He was taken into custody the next morning, and Bob, you'll remember, we were interviewing him within a couple days inside of the Marion County Jail, where he essentially admitted what he'd done, and at that time showed no remorse.
A case that's literally been going on for decades. Russ McQuaid live in Michigan City tonight. Russ, thank you for that report. We'll have updates on CBS.
I guess the case is over now. I am against the death penalty because of one statistic. Because, like, yeah, on the surface, it makes sense, you know. Eye for an eye, you kill somebody. Well, despite the fact that, like, there are other arguments. Like the fact that it costs more to put somebody to death than it does to keep them alive in prison. Besides the argument that it's inhumane, it's unconstitutional, there's multiple arguments you can make against it. But the one that really swayed me was that over 90% of the people on death row couldn't afford an attorney. So, you know, if you were putting rich people to death, I might have a different, like, you're a rich fuck and you murder somebody. I might have a lot less sympathy for that. But the fact that we put people to death that didn't have proper legal representation, that I'd say overwhelmingly are mentally handicapped, abused, suffering from trauma. Oh, and that we kill fucking innocent people. that was one of the other things I was trying to think about as I was naming off all the other things besides the statistic. The statistic that over 90% of people couldn't, no, curious or stay for the pooper. I got one more story before the pooper. And you want to see this one too, because it's got some wild footage. We've got a good old-fashioned jewelry store heist, and we've got security camera footage of it.
We've been showing you this wild scene, a daytime smash and grab with the thieves then jumping the curb, slamming into a jewelry store with a stolen car, then all of them, as you see, running in, grabbing all the jewelry they can. Well, tonight, 4 suspects are behind bars, believed to be linked to that stolen car, and we're finding out they're connected to other robberies in Oakland, Alameda, and Beverly Hills.
Your reporter Esteban Reynoso spoke with one of the owners of the Modesto jewelry store, with the story you'll see only on CBS 13.
Guys, this was a family-ran shop. They were telling me that it's really difficult to put into words how violated they feel after this, especially having their child working the front counter when this happened. Go ahead and take a look. The store still boarded up completely here, and with several suspects still out there, the owners are hoping police can catch everyone and make them whole again. Using a stolen...
That's another one, Ponder Monkey. The death penalty doesn't serve as a deterrent.
Masked men breaking into, say, jewelers in Modesto.
They just take 1 minute.
Inside, just 1 minute only.
There's a million reasons to be against the death penalty.
Jahan and his family now terrified.
My body all shake for the whole night now. I never eat, no sleep. Yeah. My son only 16. He inside. And it happened, you know.
He says this robbery cost him almost all of his product. Do you know how much you lost?
No, maybe $1 million.
Million?
Yeah.
I'm surprised it wasn't more.
From that car driving into the business, go ahead and take a look. You could still see those tire marks that were left behind on the curb, and the store now completely boarded up. And Chauhan says this isn't the only time in our area they've seen this crime happen.
Bay Area, from Turlock, Fort Tracy, now Modesto.
I see that before. Same action, same, you know, everything same.
4 men arrested just hours after they allegedly drove the car into the store, and all of them believed to be connected to other robberies in Oakland.
That one dude had beautiful hair.
Beverly Hills.
Yeah, they have to catch because we don't want to. They do same thing again with anyone, not us. With anyone.
On top of catching all of them, Chauhan wishes the response time from Modesto police was faster.
So we put alarm system. They promise if anything happen, you just hit that button. Within 2 minutes, you have police here. Yeah. So that statement completely wrong.
We took their concerns to Modesto police, who say, quote, based on video surveillance footage from the store, the 911 call reporting the robbery was received after the suspects had already fled the scene. Simultaneously, they say, officers were actively searching for individuals who had fled from a stolen vehicle tied to the same group.
I agree with the cops on this one. Like, their response time didn't fucking matter. These motherfuckers were in and out in no time.
Chauhan now
they knew what they were doing.
Options to stop this from happening.
They're probably in and out in 2 minutes.
Apple store outside, always a police cop, always available with one car, right?
Same happen again. Oh my God, that's, you know, that's why I scary.
It's hard to tell how much longer the store will be closed for. There is a lot to repair inside. Now, we do know that there was a similar robbery.
Oh, OJ totally did it.
Jewelry store. We're working to find out if police believe these two to be at all connected.
Oh, Flo, no, don't clip that. Oh my God, what I agree with the cops on, I don't even remember now. Oh, about that, like the response time. Those suspects, like it may have took them a minute. God. Oh my God. Oh my, you guys aren't going to believe it.
Well, a crappy situation.
A crappy situation. This is our pooper story.
It's been splattered all over Delaware County. You've probably seen the infamous viral video, whether you wanted to or not, and then you can't unsee it once you've seen it.
Show us.
The woman accused of a gross act during an alleged case of road rage was in court. Our Chris O'Connell's been following this one.
Have we watched this?
He's live in Prospect Park here with the very latest. Chris?
Yeah, Jason, I'm not sure if you can hear me or not, but I'm just going to go with it. I lost my earpiece now. Yeah, that woman who was made infamous by that now viral video of showing her defecating on another woman's car shook her head as a judge upheld the charges against her and added another one. Escorted by private security, 44-year-old Christina Solometo, leaving district court in Prospect Park without saying a word, instead letting her attorney do the talking.
If you're going to charge a client with a crime, then be able to meet that burden, okay? And from what we saw here today, I'm not sure they did.
The viral video played for a judge in court shows the end of a road rage incident where Solometo is seen defecating on the hood of another woman's car. The video was shot by 17-year-old Greg Ferrari, an Interboro High School junior who testified about his encounter.
It's pretty crazy. I mean, it's something that you'd never expect. So it's kind of just crazy. You know, I just got done in school, so I got called out of school.
2 girls, 1 hood.
The lady chased me. She chased me and I asked her not to attack me.
We were also there when Solometo was arrested from her Ridley Park home on charge.
Clinically, if he hadn't taped it, though, we would not have this video of a woman shitting on somebody's car hood. Come the fuck on.
District court in Prospect Park without saying.
Hold on. I wanna watch the whole thing here. We've also got her arrest.
You are not ready for this. A woman in Delco just took road rage to a whole new
Oh my god!
Lady chased me. She chased me and I asked her not to attack me. She chased you? I haven't.
What did you eat that day? She said she has a sickness.
Yeah, she chased me. And I got out and begged her to stop.
Listen to her side of the story. You are not ready for this. A woman in Delco climbing onto someone's car and taking a literal shit on the hood. And yes, there's video. This is one of the wildest arrests we've seen all year.
How did she wash her ass?
Too short to walk this earth or across the asshole. Wash your ass.
As a judge upheld the charges against her and added another one. Escorted by private security, 44-year-old Christina Solometo.
How is this? What is this woman doing in life? What kind of money does she have that she gets to hire private security and that she's got the balls enough to go shit on somebody's hood? And if she's done this one time to be filmed, has she done it 4, 5, 6 times before that hasn't been filmed?
Leaving district court in Prospect Park without saying a word, instead letting her attorney do the talking.
If you're going to charge a client with a crime, then be able to meet that burden, okay? And from what we saw here today, I'm not sure they did.
We've got a video.
A judge in court shows the end of a road rage incident where Solometo is seen defecating on the hood of another woman's car. The video was shot by 17-year-old Greg Ferrari, an Interboro High School junior who testified about his encounter.
It's pretty crazy. I mean, it's something that you'd never expect. So
it was a stress response.
I just got done in school, so I got called out of school for this.
Whom among us?
The lady chased me. She chased me and I asked her not to attack me.
We were also there when Solometo was arrested from her Ridley Park home on charges of indecent assault, disorderly conduct, harassment, and lewdness. Since the video has made the rounds on social media,
marking her territory,
Solometo and her family have been threatened.
It's traumatic because it's all over the media. There's people making T-shirts, hats, making threatening comments. It's not something, when we're talking about a person, it just because it's not
she shit on somebody's car
doesn't mean that you should be harassed continuously.
Now, Solometo is due back in court for her formal arraignment in July. The victim in this case...
By the way, the news calls her the Delco Pooper. The online name is apparently the Delco Dumper. That's what they're actually calling her. The news apparently felt the need to clean up the word dumper. It's Delco Pooper for them. She's a pooper.
Has not testified in this hearing today, Jason.
Yep. All right, we're waiting to hear more. All right, Chris.
The Delco Deuce.
Very much.
It was like all... Do you think that woman runs on, like, iced coffee? And nicotine? How much of that did you catch, Globus? How much of the shit did you get on you? What were you... Do you know of a story of someone shitting on a parked car that they weren't road raging at? Like, that was all Starbucks. She seemed really proud of it anonymously. You're saying that she's not a proud BM. She was absolutely proud of that. You did not see the video of the woman taking the shit on the hood of a car. Never sit in the splash zone on the troll patrol. I believe she's probably one of those women that runs on iced coffee and nicotine, because it was a very runny shit, Globus. Next slide, please. Who knows what I got? I got torture and detention for you next. Is that what you really want? Feel like the woman pooping on the woman's car is way more funny than what we're getting ready to do. This is a scholar at Georgetown. This is his first time speaking out after being detained by ICE.
As part of President Trump's immigration agenda in his second term, his administration has focused on arresting and detaining foreign students and academics for speaking out against the war in Gaza and raising an alarm about freedom of speech in the process. In the case of Badr Khan Suri, an Indian national and scholar at Georgetown University, the threat of deportation became a reality.
It's not my choice, Globus. It is not my choice. I go where the news dictates. I'm just doing what I am called to do. I have a format and the news kind of it fills itself in. I'm not the one, I pick the stories, but we just finding out what that news be doing.
Badr Khan Suri was detained for nearly 2 months in an immigration detention facility
Not a
in
choice.
Texas. The government claims that his social media posts and alleged ties to Hamas are a threat to foreign policy. But earlier this month, a federal judge said his detention violated his First Amendment rights and ordered his immediate release. I'm joined now by Badr and his wife, Mafez Saleh, who are speaking out for the first time since his release. Welcome to the News Hour. Thank you both so much for being here.
Thank you for having us here.
Thank you for having us. Badr, you were detained for nearly 2 months.
Badr?
Tell me about that experience.
I was teaching my class that day, and
Badr. I'm probably saying it like a redneck, and she's saying it right. Badr. But like I thought she was saying butter as in the never mind. Hold on. Butter consuri.
When I reached my home, I saw an unmarked car driving dangerously, was about to hit me. And then when I was about to reach my door, they just blocked me, and this guy with masked, he was masked, and he jumped out of the car as if he was some militia and asked me, am I brother? I said, yes. And next thing he said was,
yes, I'm totally a redneck.
I was devastated. I was terrified. I said, who is this guy who is just like masked? And how is he saying that I'm under arrest? I was like terrified. I was in fear. Yeah.
And you were detained in a facility in Virginia, then Louisiana, and then finally in Texas. And some of those transfers happened in the middle of the night, allegedly because of overcrowding in the Virginia facility. What was going through your mind when all of this was happening?
So, because they didn't show any document that why they are arresting me, they didn't let me talk to my attorneys for 7-8 days until I reached Texas. They didn't let me talk to my wife. They
That's insane.
Disappeared me and was pushing me from one detention center to other, and like in chain, my hands, my waist, my body was chained, shackled, and treating me like an animal, dehumanizing me in every possible way.
That's what it was about.
Humiliated, and ultimately, when I reached Texas, it was a very extremely overcrowded place. I was really terrified.
Mafez, as Butter said, he was arrested outside of your home. What was the first night like after he was arrested?
So my elder son was asking me when my father will come back. Then I have to delay telling him the truth, and I said that your father have something to do, so he traveled. So that night was a terrifying night for me. I remember myself, I slept behind the door. I was afraid that someone will come and pick up my children and take them away from me like they did for Badr. So it was terrifying. I was crying because the ceasefire ends in Gaza and the war started again. I was trying to reach my family in Gaza, and I couldn't for some time. Then when I talked with my mother, her voice was breaking, and then she was crying. I was crying for many reasons, crying about my husband and the people who have been killed in Gaza and the uncertainty.
So you didn't know where your husband was, and you had trouble reaching family in Gaza as well?
Yes, yes.
And can you describe what it was like when Badr was finally released and was able to return home?
The moment I saw him, the soul returned to my body. And that moment, it wasn't the moment for me. It is the moment for hundreds of supporters who was with me that moment.
But it is an injustice for this man to have to spend weeks away from his family. Completely innocent man, did nothing wrong.
They share with us this joy. I was proud to be his wife and the mother of his children.
This act is an act of intimidation. This is an attempt to violate the First Amendment.
Promoting anti-Semitism on social media and spreading Hamas propaganda. Much of this stems from your father-in-law's work as an advisor to a former Hamas leader, Ismail Haniyeh. Secretary of State Marco Rubio has said that your presence in the U.S. would have, quote, serious adverse foreign policy consequences. What's your response to these accusations?
So these allegations, I should call them speculations or whatever, because in the court, in front of the judge, they were not able to bring any shred of any evidence, any proof, anything. The honorable judge kept on asking, whatever you guys are talking in social media, bring something here. Nobody brought anything.
Did you attend any protests in your time at Georgetown?
Never, ever. I was extremely busy in my research, and my research is not on Palestine, it is on South Asia. So I was never able to join any protests, anything. I didn't have the time.
You were detained, the federal judge said, essentially for your speech.
Yes.
At the same time, the administration is cracking down on universities like Columbia universities, but others.
This is what the First Amendment is for, not so you can say the N-word on Twitter.
After an event for
not you guys,
allegedly by a man chanting "Free Palestine." How
Steve
are you
Lux,
thinking
what's
about
going
this
on?
larger moment in America?
The last thing about the murder of the Jewish.
You're exactly right. Even if he did attend protests,
that I was devastated. It was horrifying. I was shocked. It was like a personal pain for me. Anyone dying out of such violence, this is terrorism, nothing else. I want to hug the family which is going through all these things. No, as I come from India and Mahatma Gandhi's ideology guide me, violence is not the solution for anything. Any cause you are carrying, if you commit a violence, that is crime. On the other first questions which you asked about these protests and these deportations, so I would say this: if they are targeting them for just talking, just having their free speech, which is protected under Constitution, then it is unconstitutional by government. If they are just picking these young kids and trying to deport them, then it is violating the due process right, which again becomes unconstitutional and is contempt to the Constitution. So I see it like that.
But your deportation proceedings are still ongoing. Why did you decide, with those still ongoing, to speak out?
violence is the ultimate solution, right? So that's why we, as a democratic people whatsoever, like we put, you know, what libertarians call a monopoly on violence with the government. They're the ultimate authority, and they can put you in handcuffs and imprison you. Like they're the ones with the guns. That's the concept. So like we won the right to give the violence to the government through a revolution that was violence in and of itself. So like how did we end the World War II when the Nazis were taking over? It was through violence. How did we finally have to end slavery? It came through violence. So the idea that violence isn't the answer in the face of violence is somewhat naive, I believe.
One should,
that's your tepid hot take from JustinFREAKIN.
Yes, this chilling effect of fear should end. One should need to show courage. I'm a professor, I'm an academician. It's my duty to talk about any conflict happening.
Mafez, you're an American citizen. Why did you decide to speak out, and have you thought about what would happen if your husband is deported?
I'm a Palestinian who feel the pain of my people in Gaza, and I am also American who believe the freedom of speech which this country promised me and owes everyone here. If anyone seeing 53,000 Palestinians killed and he will be silent, then it's something weird. They should be ashamed of themselves.
That number is, aren't we at like confirmed over 130,000 or some shit? Wasn't that number really lowball?
Person in jail, they should be ashamed of themselves to separate a father from his 3 children. I'm a Palestinian, and this is my duty to talk about my people. They will not silence our voice. They will not break our spirit. If now they are targeting everyone who dare to speak about Palestine and dare to speak against the ongoing genocide in Gaza, then who's next?
You moved to the United States and...
Oh, I think the speculation is like it's like 300K.
America is a place that students, researchers can and should still come to.
The people here are the best. This is a society built on immigration. This is a society which has the best, which will take care of your potential. This is a society, this is a country which will make you a better human being, because this...
You talking about our country?
Has everything to offer.
The United States?
They should be courageous.
Badr Khansuri and Mafez Saleh, thank you for joining us and sharing your story.
Thank you very much.
Then the United States make you a better person? Ooh. Ooh. I don't think that is true at all. I'm sorry. I should not laugh at that. Like, I'm idealistic. You guys call me a shit lib because I'm a fucking institutionalist. But come on. The United States makes you a better person. That tickled me. That tickled me. Oh yeah, it is if you're rich. That is true, Ponder Monkey. How did that get flagged? I don't know what you got going on over there in the chat. The U.S. is banning Harvard from enrolling foreign students. I can't believe that this is. I figured it wasn't intentional. Potter Buggy Holiday's got a quick finger over here. I'm sorry. I need to let it go. I need to let you live down banning my lord that one night. Much like the United States banned Harvard from enrolling foreign students. Oh, do you like that transition?
Story on the Bloomberg at this hour has to do with the Trump administration telling Harvard University.
That's what I figured you'd do.
International students. So no doubt about it, delivering a major blow to the school after the government, you might recall, also had frozen billions of dollars of federal funding and really escalating a fight that we are.
God damn, I thought there was somebody in my window, but it was just fucking Smokey's in the window. Like, it was just, all I saw was a shadow. I was like, oh, fuck, what's somebody doing? Like, big-ass fucking windows over here. That's why the cats, they fucking big-ass windowsills, big-ass goddamn windows. They love it.
You're seeing between the United States and Harvard and other elite colleges, but really kind of taking this to a whole other level, Tim.
We got Kasia Klimashinska, team leader for DC Breaking News, joining us.
Who?
From the DC Bureau. Carol read the headline.
Wait, isn't this the lead singer of Panic at the Disco? Is he giving us the news now? When did this happen? Brandon Urie, take it away.
Kasia, but I'm wondering about sort of, we're seeing the reaction, we're seeing the interest. Everybody's talking about this story right now. Is this the type of thing that is going to get legal pushback? Are lawyers already working on this to try to prevent this from happening? Or can the administration actually make...
Or a Ryan Seacrest type?
Yeah, great questions. Thank you for having me. Indeed, this is currently the most threat story on the terminal, and really a surprising new development, a major escalation where the Trump administration is basically telling Harvard they cannot enroll international students. Not only that, but also the currently enrolled foreign students have to transfer.
I forgot what we were talking about there for a second. This is really serious. I shouldn't make jokes.
Or they will lose their legal status. Harvard has already responded, saying that they will fight it. That they obviously don't agree with this decision. So there will be definitely more to come.
You know what's interesting, Kasia? Like we've been seeing all of this play out, and I feel like universities have been trying to figure out what's the right balance in terms of dealing with the administration over it. I feel like money trumps everything, and financially, we are continuing to see impacts.
I really like her hair, and she can totally... This is Bloomberg News. I think it's Bloomberg News. Yeah, it's Bloomberg News, so she can totally be my GOP mommy. Look at her.
On universities because of what the administration is doing, pulling federal funding. But I look at Harvard, I mean, we keep reading the statistic. almost 6,800 students at Harvard. 27% of the entire student body come from other countries. That's up from just under 20% back in 2006. This is looking at the university's data. I mean, this becomes a bigger and bigger financial blow to the university. And you do wonder at this point, do universities in general, Harvard included, are going to fight back even harder, because this is about...
It's so short, Flo.
Also, in terms of principles.
Oh, well, hold on. It might be like short just by the fact that, there's not all that many women in the Republican Party, to be all that frank with you. But she's a reporter on Bloomberg News, so I kind of...
More than a quarter of all their students. I think it's also interesting that this is the Department of Homeland Security getting involved. The statement earlier this hour came from the DHS, which was citing, the protests, the fact that they blame the Harvard leadership.
Flash, I'm going to put on the YouTube thumbnail that she showed nudes. And that's what all the news organizations labeled it as. But she just showed like a blurry picture where she's supposedly naked. It's more like a silhouette. It is like a Ring camera. It is a digital device that is, and it's probably not all that good. It looked like it might be like 15 megapixels or something. And it was black and white. Flash horny for some Nancy Mace boobies.
For not being able to keep its campus basically safe and putting some students at risk.
Yeah, I'm thinking about all the Harvard alumni in Congress right now. Harvard Law actually has an article on their website post-election touting the fact that all Harvard Law alumni running for re-election to Congress won their races, while 5 more alumni vied to join their ranks. They talked about incumbents in the U.S. House of Representatives. They also talked about Republican Ted Cruz, Tim Kaine, who were re-elected to the Senate, in addition to other alumni from Harvard Law School. Have we heard anything yet at this point
from Congress?
From either Democrats or Republicans who were alums of Harvard University? Elise Stefanik, for example, who's been very critical of the school, Republican member from New York of the House. Have we heard anything from them since this came out?
It came out less than an hour ago, so I haven't seen anything here yet on the breaking news desk. You might.
That was this afternoon.
Congress is also major donors, on both sides. So I'm sure this story will continue to escalate.
Talk a little bit more about this coming from the Department of Homeland Security. It's just interesting. It's kind of playing into kind of the safety element, right? We've seen this kind of being used, I feel like, in terms of security reasons. We've seen this with immigration in general. That thinking and philosophy that continues to come from the administration, again, that I guess will also be discussed in it.
Was that Harry Widener Hall?
Yes, this time
is kind of funny,
interesting and really strange, given what happened here in D.C. overnight as well. And the statement actually specifically cites Jewish students. It's also kind of weird that the statement...
I don't know how to stop it, DJ. No.
Her briefing, so that kind of didn't allow us to ask her more questions, even though obviously she must have been aware of it happening, because apparently there were some papers going back and forth between the Trump administration and the school for several days or even weeks now. So, yes, this is definitely an interesting timing for this announcement.
I'm also thinking, and I know you're covering breaking news, but I'm also thinking about just the educational impact of a move such as this, given the numbers that Carol mentioned, thousands of students there, close to 30% of the entire student body. This is the type of thing that could potentially wreak havoc on a university's finances.
Current international students must transfer.
Ostensibly, acceptance letters have already been mailed out. We understand the yield of the class coming in. The timing of this is pretty wild.
Yes, it's really strange and difficult. It's not only about the new students, but also existing students who will have to transfer or, leave.
There's bound to be a challenge in court, right?
Visa. possibly being forced to go back home. Yes, and it's not only about the finances, right, but also about the diversity of the campus. I mean, we know that the school has been previously attacked for their diversity efforts, so this also addresses that issue of the diversity of the student body.
Kasia, one last question. It's interesting that it feels like Harvard is being attacked big time. We've seen it also with Columbia and some other schools, but it does feel makes me wonder, who didn't get into Harvard in the administration that's so angry? But that's a broader story. Having said that, should we assume that other schools will be targeted in a similar way as Harvard is being?
Okay, that was funny. She's good. I like her a lot.
That it singles out this one school and goes after its leadership. So I think we have to see. We have yet to find out whether the DHS will go after other schools as well.
Yeah, it's very disheartening that we have to depend on the court to protect us from these motherfuckers. And the court's been packed with the Heritage Foundation, Fairless Society and shit. You're exactly right. Everybody needs more cowbell. Casey, if you have not seen the documentary, I think it's on Peacock because that's the SNL channel. It's the 50 years documentary, but they did it in a fun way for SNL, and each one is kind of the one documentary, the one episode of the documentary, because they're each 40 minutes. It's about the cowbell skit. But it's basically about, the time period with Will Ferrell and him coming onto the show, and then all throughout that time. And it's kind of they have different points to. Oh shit, yeah, very good documentary. I thought that was very well done. I think I still need to watch the last one about the music. I think I fell asleep right at the beginning of it and didn't catch it all. Because I want to say I binged them all in one night. And Trump's Federal Trade Commission is probing media matters over Musk's claims that advertisers boycotted him on Twitter. The U.S. Federal Trade Commission has demanded documents from Media Matters about possible coordination with other media watchdogs accused by Elon Musk of helping orchestrate advertiser boycotts of Twitter, according to a document seen by Reuters on Thursday. The civil investigative demand seeks information about Media Matters communications with other groups that evaluate misinformation and hate speech in news and social media. You wonder why they're going after the fact checkers and people that investigate hate speech. Apparently, they're accusing Media Matters of colluding with people to make advertisers leave because, they pointed out hate speech. This included the World Federation of Advertisers initiative called Global Alliance for Responsible Media. Twitter has ongoing lawsuits against both organizations. The probe, first reported by Reuters, marks an escalation in U.S. government scrutiny of whether groups like Media Matters helped advertisers coordinate to pull ad dollars from Twitter after Musk bought the social media site. The demand seeks all documents Media Matters, a liberal DC-based advocacy group, has produced or received in the Twitter lawsuit related to advertiser boycotts. FTC Chairman Andrew Ferguson, who was appointed by Trump to run the agency, highlighted the potential for a probe in December. We must prosecute any unlawful collusion between online platforms and confront advertiser boycotts which threaten competition among those platforms. Wow. Media Matters President Angela Caruson said on Thursday that the Trump administration has been defined by naming right-wing media figures to key posts and abusing the power of the federal government to bully political opponents and silence critics. It's clear that's exactly what's happening here, given Media Matters' history of holding those same figures to account. These threats won't work. We remain steadfast to our mission. The U.S. House Judiciary Committee, chaired by Republican member Jim Jordan, who once covered up sexual abuse, I say once, but covered up widespread sexual abuse at Ohio State University, accused the Global Alliance for Responsible Media last year of coordinating an illegal group boycott. I don't know what that means. The initiative was shut down in August. The spokesperson for the FTC declined to comment. World Federation of Advertisers did not immediately respond to a request for comment. An investigative demand is not proof of wrongdoing, and not all investigations result in the FTC taking enforcement action. Advertising spending on Twitter is set to increase in 2025 for the first time since Musk bought it in 2022. There was a major donor. The Tesla CEO is a major donor to Trump's 2024 presidential campaign and runs his initiative to slash the federal workforce. Last year, Twitter sued the federal World Federation of Advertisers and a group of major brands in federal court in Texas, accusing them of illegally conspiring to curtail ad spending. The group has asked a judge to dismiss the lawsuit, contending that advertisers chose other platforms based on their concerns about Twitter's commitment to brand safety. Media Matters and Twitter are battling each other in federal court in Texas and California. Twitter sued Media Matters in 2023, accusing the organization of defaming it in an article that said ads for the major brands had appeared next to posts on Twitter that touted far-right extremist content. But that totally happened. I believe these lawsuits are probably frivolous, but who knows? Once again, the courts have been stacked. And also, it depends on the wording of the law. The White House is responding to the criticism they're taking, the blowback from yesterday's meeting with the South African president.
Now, Caroline Leavitt was also asked about that sit-down between the president of South Africa and President Trump, and where Trump...
She doesn't say his name.
...for the South African president. Take a look at those questions.
Sure. The president showed a video.
Why did she not say, hold on, it's wrong, I don't say his name. Ramaphosa. That's probably it. Ramaphosa.
That he said showed more than 1,000 burial sites of white South Africans that he said were murdered. We know that
what song
video wasn't showing that. So I wonder, why did the president choose to show that? It's not true. The video was showing a burial site. It is unsubstantiated that that's the case.
No, it is true that video showed the crosses that represent
what the president claimed.
That represent, yeah.
Images of crosses in South Africa about white farmers who have been killed and politically persecuted because of the color of their skin. And those crosses are representing their lives. Those crosses are representing their lives in the fact that they are now dead and their government did nothing about it. Are you disputing that there's no...
The fact that the video showed what the president claimed it showed, because it did not show that. But even more, what I'm asking you is who at the White House...
No, it did show that. It showed white crosses representing people who have perished because of racial persecution.
Verifies the videos that the president shows, and what protocols are in place when there's unsubstantiated information being put out for the world and world leaders to show?
Yamiche, what's unsubstantiated about the video? The video shows crosses that represent the dead bodies of people who were racially persecuted by their government. In fact, the Associated Press, of all places, has a picture of that very monument, and the caption from the Associated Press is, "Each cross marks a white farmer who has been killed in a farm murder." So it is...
Oh, that is wrong.
Not just by that video and the physical evidence that everybody saw on display in the Oval Office, but also by another outlet in this room, the Associated Press. So you should take it up with them if you believe the claim is unsubstantiated.
Yeah, most of the murderers have been of black people.
Heated exchange there between Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt, a reporter there at the press briefing room. Aaron Navarro now joins us. He's live outside the White House. Aaron, what else stood out to you in that press conference?
Yeah, I'll start just following that exchange when it comes to South Africa. Our CBS confirmed unit found that the issue with that specific bit of the video of those crosses is that they're meant, according to the protesters who put up those crosses, they're meant to represent all farmers who have been killed in these incidents in South Africa, not just white farmers, but as well as black and other race farmers. There was also talk of this cryptocurrency
represent
in the Washington D.C. area tonight, where essentially 220 guests that had spent the most money on the president's cryptocurrency coin will be invited to the center. Reporters, including our own Nancy Cordes, pressed the White House press secretary a little bit on that. Take a listen to their exchange.
The president has been asked about this. He has addressed this. I have also stated previously from this podium that the president is abiding by all conflict of interest laws that are applicable to the president.
Yes, sure.
I think everybody, the American public, believe it's absurd for anyone to insinuate that this president is profiting off of the presidency. This president was incredibly successful before giving it all up to serve our country publicly.
No, he wasn't.
Not only has he lost wealth, but he also almost lost his life. He has sacrificed a lot to be here, and to suggest otherwise is frankly completely absurd. Libby, go ahead.
Now, it's not uncommon for lobbyist fundraisers to kind of buy
I hate it
at
here.
least two events where the president will attend.
It's a slog to get through this.
What's of course new about this is that cryptocurrency angle that is tied direct.
Anyone has played Last of Us Part 2, I'm not going to give you any spoilers, but it's a slog. The first game is like 20 hours. It's a perfect timed game. It didn't feel too long, not too short, satisfying. The second game is like 40 to 45 hours. And it's a slog. Because it's like an emotional fucking slog. Like I used to binge Breaking Bad. And my girlfriend at the time was like, yeah, I can't watch another episode because it's a lot. It takes a toll on you. And that's what like doing the news is like right now. It's an emotional toll every day. Sports cards, welcome in.
Directly to the president's name. And then going back real quick to Israel, the White House press secretary there, Caroline Leavitt, mentioned that the president had a call with the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin.
Well, I'm sorry if I told you the
not only about the killings
the playtime
of Israeli embassy workers in Washington D.C.
That's a spoiler.
But as well said that they did discuss a potential deal with Iran in regards to their nuclear weapons and stockpile, their ability to create nuclear weapons. So that was also a topic of discussion and has been something that the president has been working towards.
Wait, are you playing along with the show?
Months now.
Aaron Navarro live outside the White House for us. Thanks so much, Aaron.
Oh, I've got to know now because you're at the part that like we're at in the show. What the fuck? Like, is that what you're doing? Because it's kind of cool. Oh, you're purposely lagging behind the show. The show has been, or you're lagging. You haven't watched the show. Okay, I have no idea. But it's wild you're playing the game and watching the show at the same time. So I asked my buddy. He's played the first game, but not the second one. And he doesn't have it. And I was like, "Are you gonna play the game before you watch the show?" Because he's watched the first season. I assume he watched it with his wife and shit, and she's probably into it. Because, Pedro Pascal and all that good shit. And she was really into Game of Thrones, so I guess she probably really likes Bella. And I think Curiouser agreed. She liked Ellie in the game better. Really? You thought the game was... Well, do you even like games clinically? I don't hear you talk about games a lot. Are you talking like the first game? Are you calling mid as fuck? I got mixed opinions about the second game, but the first game's like that's in the top 5 greatest games of all time, probably. And I would love to have that discussion with you guys. Would you like to take a break from the news real fast, or should I save that? I'll forget about it if I don't do it right now. I couldn't name a greatest game of all time. You gotta throw a Mario in there. And there's even a debate. Like, Mario 1 is such a perfect game to teach you how to... New Vegas is an excellent pick. Last of Us is top 5 all time. Sports cards, have you not played it? Ooh, Flo, I've got Chrono Trigger on my PlayStation right now, but I bought Final Fantasy VI and Resident Evil 4 remake for my birthday. I've played a lot of I've done a lot of mushrooms recently, and I have Tetris Effect, and it has the songs, and it makes notes and shit as you're fucking flipping blocks, and it is the perfect thing to play while you're tripping. And it is one of the greatest games of all time. You guys like Fallout 3? Oh, you're one of those. Should have known you'd be like a neckbeard. Oh no, I gotta go old school. Did you play Fallout 3? Did you play Fallout 2, the one that was overhead? I would go with Mario, Super Mario World. I would go with the Super Nintendo Super Mario World. You gotta put a Mario in the top 5. Which Fallout is the best? I haven't played 3. What up, Kangaroo? Driving Sims while tripping. Oh shit. Driving Sims while tripping. Interesting. I haven't played Fallout 3. Or I haven't played Fallout 1 or 2 either. Like, I'm not like a computer nerd like that shit. But I have beat Fallout 4 and I hate it. I hate it with a passion. Sorry. I need to beat New Vegas because I was playing New Vegas when I got a PS4. And I just never went back and beat. No, my PS3 broke and I got a new one. And because it was so long between getting a new one. That's what it was. So I never finished Fallout New Vegas. And I would really like to because it was fun. And I like those creators. Because I've played Outer Worlds. That's it. It's made by them. Holy shit, that's such a fun game. I love that game. I would throw hey, maybe this is a hot take out there. I would throw Witcher 3. Top 5. I don't know how many I've had now. I've thrown out games here. I'm a Final Fantasy nut, right? I guess you probably have to go 7. 6 is my favorite. That's why I bought it for my birthday, the Pixel Remaster. I am already so far into it. But 7 is kind of it's the masterpiece. It's the one that put them on the map. It's a great game. The moment in games. What about a Resident Evil? Resident Evil 2. Or the first one's kind of revolutionary. You played as a murder hobo and killed every person you could. I feel was the game really hard that way, Flo? Because that's part of the game is going with the different groups and getting their assistance. I loved Ghost of Tsushima. Holy fuck, did I love that game. That game is amazing. Oh, somebody threw out Red Dead Redemption 2 and yeah, that's in the conversation for one of the greatest games of all time. No doubt. But nobody liked my Witcher 3 comment. Have you guys played Witcher 3? Because fuck is that game good. I don't want to do this. I'm going to skip to the bullshit. Basically, fuck. It could be funny. Here's your highlights. The Supreme Court said Trump can fire the heads of agencies. We're not gonna watch the thing on it. Yeah, we'll watch this one little bit here with RFK and Trump. They're announcing their Maha initiative.
At its core, this report is a call to action for common sense. We've relied too much on conflicted research, ignored common sense, or some would call mother's intuition. It's common sense that ultra-processed, nutrient-poor food contributes to chronic disease. It's common sense that excessive screen time and isolation lead to anxiety and depression, especially in children. It's common sense that exercise and healthy food should come before prescriptions and surgery. It's common sense that not all calories are equal in nutritional value. It's common sense that over-medicating kids is dangerous.
Want some queso dip.
It's common sense that we can celebrate the innovations of modern life while also demanding fearless inquiry into ameliorating the negative effects of medication, agriculture, and environmental practices.
This dude swam in sewer.
Research funded by corporations deserves more scrutiny than independent studies. I'm so proud of this cabinet, and particularly Secretary Rollins and
Trump looks bored.
Sheldon, who, again, I'll say it a third time, work late nights, early into the morning to make this happen, and to all the leadership from the White House staff, beginning with Stephen Miller, and Heidi Overton, Dr. Heidi Overton, with Vince Haley. Their leadership and their steady hand in getting us to the goal line we could not have done it without them. They helped us grapple with weighty issues and committed this administration to solving large, complex challenges like children's health. We're joined here by senators, advocates, governors who I have worked with, and CEOs who I know who are all ready to begin carrying out this mission.
Is he flirting with her?
Beginning of a conversation, a national conversation that we are going to have with maturity, with nuance for the first
Or maybe he's just trying to stay awake.
leadership, President Trump. There is a reason that the Maha Mom sided with you.
Maha.
It's because this administration has the bravery to tell the truth and solve problems.
I can't imagine they're not separated, but I don't know her.
President Trump, I'm honored to present you the Maha report.
There were reports that they were very rocky in their relationship. Oh yeah, there was that reporter he was having an affair with. The Republicans, they passed their big beautiful bill through Congress after an overnight session. Democrats in the Senate are going to introduce a bill to ban stock trading. We'll see if it goes anywhere. I'm giving you the highlights right now because I don't feel like doing this shit. Okay, we're not gonna watch fucking 2 or 3 minutes on each of those subjects. I'm just telling you what the fuck happened. And then we're going to go to the fun thing. This was Piers Morgan. Content warning.
Because this does matter, okay? When we're talking about this new song, and as a comedian and as a linguist, I'm going to say the word here so that everybody knows, and that's what you're going to clip. We're looking at words that are offensive, a song that is offensive, but one is a boogeyman word. We have one noun, a verb, and a noun. Okay, we have a noun by itself, contextually. That's bad. Shouldn't say it, but it's not imbued with any power outside of historical context. The last noun, Hitler, is imbued with the power of the verb that precedes it, hail, to praise, to venerate. That'll get clipped, even though I'm condemning the song as anti-Semitic, and not one person here who would be the victim of a more severe call to action.
What in the fuck was he trying to say? Let me rewind that.
Because this does matter, okay? When we're talking about this new song, and as a comedian,
there is no bleep. They just take the audio out. It's kind of hard to hear. He drops an N-bomb. What does that mean in the context that he said it? I'm going to say Kanye. I'm assuming they're talking about Kanye.
Because this does matter, okay? When we're talking about this new song, and as a comedian and as a linguist, I'm going to say the word here so that everybody knows, and that's what you're going to clip. We're looking at words that are offensive, a song that is offensive, but one is a boogeyman word. We have one now.
Oh, maybe he has a song. He's saying we're looking at songs that are offensive. Can somebody get on that?
Because this does matter, okay? When we're talking about this new song, and as a comedian and as a linguist, I'm going to say the word here so that everybody knows, and that's what you're going to clip. We're looking at words that are offensive, a song that is offensive, but one is a boogeyman word. We have one noun, a verb, and a noun. Okay, we have a noun by itself, contextually. That's bad. Shouldn't say it, but it's not imbued with any power outside of historical context. The last noun, Hitler, is imbued with the power of the verb that precedes it. Hail, to praise, to venerate. That'll get clipped, even though I'm condemning the song as anti-Semitic, and not one person here who would be the victim of a more severe call to action is going to say it's anti-Semitic. I think we're in a silly point in this country when we're polling this clip to condemn the anti-Semitism here at the studio, and people going, hey, can I get a second cut of that N-word, Hail Hitler? That's the point. It's not genuine.
Would you have used the N-word in the way that you just did if you had a black guest with you?
Like Dr. Hill? Sure.
You would?
Sure. And here's the challenge again.
It's not a challenge.
This is the point, right?
No,
We're
I
trying
think
to
you're
use
missing.
this as a tool. It's
I
great
think you
for
actually.
broadcast, but
Hang on, Stephen. I think both.
for the country.
I think both you and Mark Lamont Hill missed the point of what I was doing there. There was no preconceived idea of mine to do that. I just felt that she was being very cowardly. I felt she was saying, of course I would say it, but I very much doubted she would actually say it. In other words, I thought a lot of it was performative racism.
What in the fuck is anybody talking about?
But I didn't think she would actually go through and say it in the way she claimed she would say it.
But do you agree?
Because I thought
with the point that
I
I'm
thought
making?
she was a sniveling little coward. So it was really calling out her cowardice was what I was trying to do.
Sure.
But I accepted when Mark Lamont Hill said, "Do not do that." I thought about it very quickly and thought he's right. He's right. It looks too performative.
But
and he objected
do you agree
to
with
it.
the point that I'm making, Pierce? Do you understand the point? Again, as a linguist, when you look at that, context matters. And if so.
He was talking about the woman from Minnesota. Is that what you said? Her name is Shiloh Hendricks, and she dropped a video yesterday. I couldn't find the original, but this is like as close to the original as I could find, I guess. There's probably somebody's commentary at the end. Let's see what we got here. Shiloh Hendricks.
I'm Shiloh Hendricks. I just
said that.
Time to talk to you all about what's been going on with my fundraiser and kind of the aftermath of the park situation. Also some concerns that have been brought to my attention. There are a lot of people who think that this has all been a scam, that I haven't been getting my money and that it's not going to me. I have gotten every dime of my money.
Yes,
it's all gone to me.
she called an autistic black kid the N-word.
So, there's that. Rest assured, all the money has gone to me.
I'd swipe right on
When this
him.
first started, I had a handful of people helping me out. Anglo-Saxon Girl, Tom Hennessy, Paul Miller, and Ofsterbone, Avi. And they really just were kind of guiding me through this time.
Not because she's racist, because she's crazy.
The word out there
Look at them eyes.
about everything that was going on. So I am forever grateful for all of them for that. And then the Avi thing happened where he got fired from his job and uploaded a video and started his own fundraiser. That had nothing to do with myself and the rest of the people.
Don't know what she's talking about either.
As soon as we found out the truth about all of that,
Maybe I'm just checked out. I'm ready for the weekend.
I am not married to him. I don't know him. I've never.
She's single, guys.
So I just want to shut that down right now. Yeah. When I first found out that the park video was going viral, it was terrifying, but not surprising, because obviously he was recording.
Call her a cunt to her face.
I did not realize I was going to have so much support and have all of you people rally around me and have my back in this situation. And
we don't have your back.
It was very overwhelming.
We're mocking you.
I am so grateful.
Well, some people are thirsting over you.
When this first happened, and I went on X and I saw Anglo-Saxon Girl had posted my video, I messaged her and I was like, hey.
Anglo-Saxon Girl?
Just kind of needing somebody like-minded to talk to.
See, she cuckoo.
So we went through the whole process of, proving who I was. And that's when we kind of got the whole fundraiser started and set up. And yeah, the rest of that is history. I also just want to say how proud I am of everybody.
I mean, kangaroo, that's pretty much my options around here.
Just showing what can happen if we tribe up, and if we stick together, and if we
tribe
fight
up
back. Our future, our existence depends on standing up for ourselves and not backing down.
Anal sex girl.
We just have to keep on going. There's no other option. I mean, what else are we
Hope they wash their ass.
You can't be afraid of words. Don't be afraid of the people who are so fragile to a word.
Just one word, not the 14 words.
So thankful for you all.
She's got pretty
we
eyes.
Are in the process of looking for a
again.
Have looked at some.
Straight from the litter box.
Estate.
All the way through here over my desk.
Life.
And to the.
To have a quiet life. I don't plan on.
To the window.
Being an influencer. I don't plan on doing interviews. Like, that's just not something that I would ever want to do. It's not on my agenda. So maybe someday, but I don't foresee it happening anytime soon. We're all doing okay. We've been
leave Shiloh alone.
It's been an adventure. It's fun to see new places and, been kind of an outlaw. Again, I just want to say that I am so grateful for all of my supporters and all of my people who have been with me through all of this. And yeah, I haven't said anything on here. I haven't done any sort of videos or spoke to anybody really.
Oh no, you raise $500,000 for me, I will shut the fuck up. I will go the fuck away.
Keep you updated with what's going on. And yeah, so I just want to say thank you, everyone. And I will talk to you later. Bye.
Oh, Flash, that reminds me. I'm gonna get everything together. Probably gonna take a break and not do a show on Sunday night. I might be here tomorrow. Who knows? I'm not gonna be here on Saturday. It's my birthday weekend. Don't go anywhere. I still got a fun thing to do here. I'm gonna set up like a fundraiser, GoFundMe or Give Sing Go or what? Probably that one. It's probably the one with the loosest restrictions, right? And it seems like the backlash I'm getting means I should up the money. So probably like if I can raise $5,000 during Pride Month, I will tattoo MS-13 on my knuckles on stream. I will have somebody come and tattoo, because I know enough people that have tattoo guns and that I trust not to give me an infection. That's pretty much the lowest bar that you can absolutely get to. I think that this might get attention. I'm not counting on you guys to give me that money. I think it can get attention. So we're gonna give it a try. MS-13 on the knuckles. See, people keep telling me to raise it. I don't think they're gonna come after me because I'm a white boy. You guys think it's actually risky for me? If you think it's actually risky for me to tattoo MS-13 on my knuckles, then that's the whole reason to do it. This is goddamn America. I do it just out of fucking principle. You almost don't have to pay me, but, you know, if I can pocket some cash. I am a goddamn white boy. Maybe I do need to up the money just in case I need legal representation. That's possible. Maybe I should, maybe $8-9 grand or something. Maybe if I put it at $5 grand, people will exceed it because it'll catch on. Because here's my plan, like the troll I am. I'll try to get right-wingers to donate to it. Get me sent to fucking CCOT or Guantanamo. I'll tattoo MS-13 on my knuckles. Ooh, Flo coming with the truth. Being a leftist makes me a whole lot less white. Ooh. I have always walked through life with the audacity of white privilege under my ass. I assure you, I have, especially as a white man, there's a lot of things women can't, like, I just, like, walk around in the middle of the night in cities I don't fucking know. That's not a privilege women have. Oh, by myself. I guess women, if they're escorted by, like, people they know, they can do it. I gotta spend all the money at the weed store. Probably not. I would probably, I'd get some new gear. I'd get a new soundboard. I need a new soundboard. And probably upgrade some shit on my computer so that I know I can take it for another 10 years, right? That's probably what I would do with the money. Gear. Or put it back. I probably need some money for a rainy day. I'm getting kind of old up here. I get what you're saying, Flo, but it's why I'm the perfect person to do it. You know? Use my privilege as best I can. I have a friend who happens to be black. That's a weird thing to say. But she studies colonial African studies, yeah. So it's a lot of fucking Haiti and shit like that. She's like a semester away from her doctorate, and I've told her to leave the country. So, like, it depends on what your situation is. I've got nothing to fucking lose. I'm the fucking who's gonna miss me. You know, that's doing a stunt like this that might help me get attention to the Troll Patrol is better than fucking not doing it. If they did eventually send me to CCOT, hopefully it wouldn't be in vain and it would be some point on the fight against fascism. I would hope. Oh, I know you guys would miss me, but, you know, like, and I say that, but, like, I have some of the best fucking friends. I have a really large friend group. That's when I moved in with what's her name in North Carolina. Like, I found it really weird that she didn't have friends. And I'm like constantly video chatting, like, oh, hey, this is Battle Opossum. Say hey, Battle Opossum, like as I walk outside and fucking Like, I have people that love me and shit. So don't get me wrong. I'm not all lonely over here. But, like, I don't have a child to live for. I don't have a family of my own. I'm the perfect person to be front lines in a protest against fascism. To tattoo MS-13 on my... Which is, seriously, for my own personal gain. I think it would be good for the Troll Patrol if I get some media attention off of it. MS-13, bitch! Let's check this out. This is bound to be fun. This is our fun segment of the show. Elon on the high job. I assume it's a play on hijab, but I don't think it's a very good one. But hopefully the segment's cool. I like cooking shows too. God, that's loud.
Well, thank you for being here today. As we're talking about Earth Week. We opened Nightingale so almost 13 years now.
Oh yeah, DJ Dub, you might be able to visit there.
From the house and of our program, and we really focus on reducing food waste here as much as we can. That can come in terms of
Twitchy people, stick with me. I've got a police chase we can watch, listen to music. Sorry to say goodbye to the YouTube people, but I got one more story for you. Remember the plane crash that we covered in San Diego earlier? This is a story of dogs rescued by the Humane Society shortly after the crash.
We talked a little bit about a dog rescue, and we're told multiple dogs were rescued from the devastated neighborhood. Our reporter with CBS affiliate KFMB is there while the dogs are being cleaned up by the Humane Society. Let's listen into their coverage from just moments ago.
Was piloting the plane. We want to point that out.
Right.
I'm not sure at all who was piloting the plane. This is just the name associated
registration
with that
information.
aircraft.
Absolutely. Yes. We know a lot of our military members have been impacted, and a lot of their pets have been impacted as a result. And our wonderful San Diego Humane Society has been taking in more than a dozen of these pets, including a mama dog that had 7 little puppies rushed to the San Diego Humane Society. Shannon Handy has been there watching them get cleaned up because
YouTube has a curfew
fuel on them. Some of them so much so they had to be washed twice.
Yeah, exactly, Eric.
Oh, poor babies.
I'm holding the mic cord not to drag it in this muck as you.
I hope they're not too scared.
The water, the soap, but 2 of those dogs are being washed as we speak. These 2 were among a larger group of huskies from the same home, and you can see, guys, how scared they are. They are shivering. When they were brought in the Humane Society truck, they were huddled together. They were so scared, not knowing what was going on. I mean, this has been obviously very traumatic for so many families who have been displaced, but these dogs
babies
are a part of those families. And what happens, just like the 4th of July, dogs
I'm gonna cry.
Hear loud noises, they run away. And so some of these pets were actually displaced from their homes. Some of them were taken from the owner because the owner saw the Humane Society officers around, flagged them down and said, my dogs are covered in jet fuel, and they were taken here. So it's kind of a mixed bag. We've seen over a dozen pets brought in, including
Suncats, welcome in.
As mentioned earlier, who had 7 puppies. She was, puppies were brought to a different Humane Society campus, and those puppies, as well as their mother, are all being cared for, as are these dogs. So,
oh, look at that chonk.
And I mean, these dogs have been brought in, again, with jet fuel on them, which is why you see some of the Humane Society employees here dressed in the white outfits, making sure that they're protected from that jet fuel. But I can tell you, this is going to be a long day, not just for the first responders on the scene, but these responders. Humane Society are considered first responders. They've been driving around the neighborhood, picking up pets. And here's the process that
those beautiful babies.
And that's considered the red zone. Then they're brought in here, which is the yellow zone, to be washed. And as soon as they're washed, they are brought into the care facility. Their pictures taken, and that's called the green zone, where they're going to be cared for and hopefully reunited with their owner. And with me now is the sergeant with the Humane Society. This is Chelsea Casperson. So Chelsea, right now, the emergency response team has just...
This is a feel-good story, right?
Yeah, so our emergency response team is a unit of 5 to 6 highly skilled, highly trained people who are approved to go behind this kind of hazmat situation. So they're going to be clearing homes. They're actually going to be going through, making sure that no animal is left behind throughout this scenario.
And I was just describing what your officers were seeing, but you...
That's a thing from when I first started doing news.
Tell me from your perspective, when you're out there on the scene, picking
My
up
boss demanded the last story was always a feel-good story.
Out there yet. I am on my way out there to relieve the current sergeant who's been out there since 4:30 this morning when this incident occurred. My teams are telling me, though, it's devastating. People
I feel bad that they're scared, though.
Terrified and having a tough time getting through this, but this is what we're here for.
But they're getting good care.
If you need us, we will supply you with anything that we have available.
Oh, he's getting like a pup cup.
And I know that you mentioned earlier, inside the trucks, you actually have a lot of the supplies. So if someone flagged you down because they had to leave their home immediately, what do you have on hand?
Yeah, so we've crates, dog food, cat food, leashes, maybe some...
The fucking show is a dark and terrible place, my lord.
They don't know what's next.
We cover murder and terrorist attacks and mass shootings and shit.
Otherwise, we've got our safety
Joe Biden's balls.
volunteer teams are ramping up, ready. They know we're going to see an influx of animals through this event.
Thank you so much. And you guys, this is really rare just to get this inside look. You know, we talk about all the work the Humane Society does, and here you are seeing it live on our air, on our streaming service. And look, they're getting whipped cream.
That's great. They deserve a treat.
They do deserve a treat.
First there's kibble, and they're going
Good babies.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, well, I'll send it back to you guys. I'll send it to you on this happy shot. I know it's been a tragic day so far, but it's nice to see these dogs are feeling a bit better because, again, these...
YouTube people, Kick, Facebook, oh, yada, yada, yada. Light one up, tip one back.
Right now...
It's all right to have a little fun, but we're at the sack. I'm JustinFREAKIN.
Feeling really comfortable, and actually...
Won't see you again until...
Confusing because I thought these were the same dogs. We keep seeing huskies. There were 7 huskies in one home. These are actually brand new huskies.
Maybe Tuesday night. I don't know.
From the same
This is my birthday weekend. Who knows when I see you?
we know. So these are actually new huskies brought in, but yeah.
I'll see you soon.
The siblings of them, we showed them.
Oh, yeah, we're doing Twitch people. Stick with me. Everybody else, I'll see you soon. Sometime
Continue to stay out here.
in the future for a troll patrol, probably on Tuesday. That'll probably be like the end of next week holiday.
Our friends are at KFMB in San Diego covering this breaking news out of this San Diego neighborhood just outside of